Very good evening to all of you and very welcome to the sessions of Sprint Class 10th. Good evening guys. Again, welcome to the sessions. Welcome back to the sessions. Those who are watching these sessions again and for the very first time, I welcome to all of you in the sessions. Very good evening to all of you. Guys, this session has been specially designed for all of you for your class 10th examinations. Keeping in mind your class 10th examinations, we all know that you guys are in real pressure, sheer pressure. So just to curtail that, just to give a extra edge to all your guys preparations, we have come up with this Sprint X. And guys, let me tell you, एक बात बताता हूं. Preparation is not about reading or studying a lot many materials. It's all about reading the right material. For you guys, what I can say, in mathematics, I have brought you guys this Sprint X, and in this Sprint X, I'll be taking one topic every day or sometimes one topic in 2 days. But हर उस एक टॉपिक पे, हर उस एक चैप्टर पे I will be giving you out there 7 questions fixed in every session. 7 most important questions which are very important for your board examinations and which has a very higher probability of coming in this CBSE 2019 class 10th paper. So guys, let me tell you, this session is going to help you out in the very tremendous way, and it has all those things which you require as of now. I will be giving you those questions around which you should do your practice to get the best out of your preparation. So, bina time waste kiye, I will be moving forward. Just this is a complete, what you can say, means complete timetable which you will be getting. Let me give you that the sprint is started from today, 21st of January, and on every day you will be having 2 sessions of mathematics. Today we will be covering real numbers right now, and in the next session at 8 p.m. we will be covering polynomials, and then moving on to 22nd January linear equations, then quadratic, arithmetic, and moving on, and we will be covering all those topics in the coming sessions. So guys, this is going to be really fantastic. Let's move on to the next. This is going to be the next schedule. In this next schedule, on from 26th January, triangles, until it will go till 30th January for probability. So let me tell you, this is going to be really very astonishing and very helpful for all of you. Now, moving on to our sessions. This is our first question, but before this first question, let me tell you something very great. हर दिन अपनी जिंदगी को एक नया ख्वाब तो दो, चाहे पूरे ना हो पर आवाज तो दो, सारे ख्वाब तुम्हारे एक दिन पूरे हो जाएंगे, सिर्फ कोशिश करके एक शुरुआत तो दो. So guys, this is a line for today, the tagline for today's session, and I will be motivating you guys in each and every session that you can do. Believe in yourself that yes, you can do. Don't believe in those people who keep on saying that you cannot do. Always have this firm belief that yes, you can do and you would be able to do it. All those people who are asking your credibility, who are saying that whether would you be able to do it or not, tell them that sir and ma'am, I don't need your suggestion. If you can give something positive, you are most welcome. But if you do not have anything positive, then please let me be on my own way and I will get the success which I have dreamt of. So guys, let's start today's session. This is the first question and a very important question from your examination perspective, from your examination point of view. Prove that the product of any 3 consecutive positive integers is divisible by 6. This is a very common question, but in this session, I will even tell you how to write the steps. And I am assuming all these questions if it would come in 4 marks question. Now, let me tell you, if any of the question in the sessions comes for 3 marks, say for example in your examination, then what you will do, you will simply cut down the steps which is not required or which would be irrelevant according to that 3 marks question. So I'll be even telling you. So according to a 4 marker question, that if this question comes in a 4 marks question, which should be, so the solution would be like this. Now, how we are going to solve this question. So I'll tell you, the very first step would be, let three consecutive positive integers be n plus 1 and n plus 2. This is the very common thing which you assume, that these three consecutive integers we will assume at n plus 1 and n plus 2. Let me tell you, consecutive integers means ek ke baad ek, just one after another. So when a number is divisible by 3, divided by 3, the remainder can be 0, 1 or 2. We know this Euclid theorem that remainder can never be more than the divisor. So if I am dividing any number by 3, the remainder would always be either 0 or 1 or 2. So using this thing, I can write down that this n number which I had assumed here, this n can be of the form 3p, multiple of 3, divisible by 3, or 3p plus 1. If it is having a remainder 1, it will have 3p plus 1, or if it has a remainder of 2, so it will be a 3p plus 2. Okay, I guess you all would be understanding it, and please follow it, that these steps are very important. You should write these steps in your examination for getting the 100% marks. And I will even tell you how I have streamlined these questions and why I have kept these questions for you guys and how important they are. I'll be telling you in this session only. Now, so if n is equal to 3p, say for example n can be 3p or 3p plus 1 or 3p plus 2. So I have taken the first value n. If n is equal to 3p, then n is divisible by 3. That is very sure. Yes, that is possibility. But if n is not equal to 3p, then n will be equal to 3p plus 1. Second possibility, 3p plus 1. So if n is equal to 3p plus 1, this implies out of these numbers n, n plus 1 and n plus 2, the third number n plus 2, if I am putting the value of 3p plus 1 here, 3p plus 1 plus 2, 3p plus 1 plus 2, it will come as 3p plus 3. And here we are getting again 3 as common. So out of these numbers n, n plus 1 and n plus 2, this third number n plus 2 is divisible by 3. So is divisible by 3. I have written that this is divisible by 3. Now moving on to next. Say for example, if n is not even 3p plus 1, so it will be 3p plus 2. So if n is equal to 3p plus 2, n plus 1, the second number n plus 1 would be 3p plus 2 plus 1, that is again 3p plus 3, and is equal to 3p plus 1, isn't it guys? So this is again divisible by 3. Now what I have made you understand, that in each and every case either n or n plus 1 or n plus 2 is divisible by 3. So that we had to show. So in all the cases, so we can say that one of the numbers among n plus 1 and n plus 2 is always divisible by 3. So that is why their product, that is n into n plus 1 into n plus 2, the multiplication of these numbers will always be divisible by 3. You should write down the last step, that n into n plus 1 into n plus 2, product of three consecutive integers, will always be divisible by 3. Now, you know why I have taken 3? Because we have to show the divisibility by 6. Okay, so 6 has two prime factors, 2 and 3. So you have to show the divisibility by 3 and by 2. Now I have taken the harder one, the tougher one in the first time. For the easier one, that is 2. Similarly, we will when a number is divided by 2, the remainder obtained is 0 or 1. Now, you know, if the same question comes in a 3 marker question, say for example 3, it won't come in 2 marker, but if it comes in 3 marker, from here onwards you can directly write that n into n plus 1 into n plus 2 is also divisible by 3, and then hence proved for a 3 marker question. But if this question goes on for the 4 marks, you will move on with the next step. N is divisible by 2, so it will have n equal to 2q or 2q plus 1. Because if we are dividing it by 2, remainder will be 0 or 1. So n is equal to 2q or 2q plus 1, where q is some integer. Okay, if n is equal to 2q, similarly n is equal to 2q, then n and n plus 2, the first number and the last number n plus 2, both will be divisible by 2, isn't it? And similarly, if n is equal to 2q plus 1, because this is also possibility, second number n equal to 2q plus 1. So if the 2q plus 1 is there, then surely n plus 1, the second number, n plus 1, that was the second number. So n plus 1 would be that 2q plus 1 plus 1, that is 2q plus 2. Again here 2 is common and it will be divisible by 2. So I can write it down that, so we can say that the number among n plus 1 and n plus 2, all three are divisible by 2, either in the first case or in the second case. So the product, any one of them, at least n or n plus 1 or n plus 2, any one of them is divisible by 3. So their product will always be divisible by 2. So if their product is always divisible by 2, then we can very well say that in the first case, n into n plus 1 into n plus 2 was divisible by 3, and in the second case it is divisible by 2. So we can write down that hence n into n plus 1 into n plus 2 is divisible by 2 and 3 both. That is why we can say that it is divisible by 6. So this will be a complete step for a 4-marker question. Let me tell you, board needs steps, and those steps should be very much correct. So that is why I am giving you a detailed solution that how you should write it in your board examinations, because that is important. I know many of you must be knowing the answer of this question, and this might be an easy question, but right now I am not here to show my talent that how much I know. I am not even here to give you something very extraordinary knowledge. No, we are here only with one motive, that we all have to score above 95% marks in our board examination. And I can take the guarantee of mathematics that if you are going to follow this, surely I am damn sure that you are going to score above 95 marks. Because all those 7 questions which I have taken in the session, I have designed all those 7 questions keeping in mind that if the board will ask at least one, I am giving you it in writing. You can write down here that me, Harsh Priyam, has said these words on 21st of January 6 p.m. that at least one question out of these, every chapter session, at least one question will come in the board's examination. That is my dead sure guarantee to all of you. So write it down, and that is why I am very sure that if you follow this, you will get above 95. So come on guys, follow these steps. This question is very important. It is most likely to come in this examination. So read it very carefully. Moving on to our next question. I guess you all would have understood this question. It was a pretty easy question. Steps are important. So I would recommend that keep on getting the steps also, so that you can write it in your examination. Moving on to our next. So this will be our next question. Show that root 3 plus root 5 is an irrational number. You would have seen this question multiple times, isn't it? So root 3 plus root 5 is an irrational number. See, this proving root 5 is an irrational number can also come, but it is an easier question. So if this question is coming, I am assuming that you people would be able to solve this, because this was the same question of class 9th also. So this year board can ask a bit different one, not a tougher one, but a different one. So root 3 plus root 5 whole square is an irrational number that has to be proved. So how you are going to prove this? Let's see. So the first step, avoid this. The first step would be let root 3 plus root 5 whole square be a rational number. This would be the first step. Now we will square it using the formula of a square plus b square. So a plus b whole square, a square plus 2ab plus b square equal to p by q. Now this will be 3 and this will be 5. So 3 plus 5, 8, and plus 2 root 3 into root 5 would be root 15 is equal to p by q, 9. Now let me tell you why I have assumed this p by q. You all must be knowing that we have assumed it rational, and rational is always of the form p upon q. So that is why we have assumed it as p upon q. Now, so the next step would be 8 plus 2 root 15, and in the next step this 8 would go to this side. That is what I have written. 2 root 15 remaining here, and p by q minus 8. And then when I'll take the LCM, this q will go to this side, p minus 8q divided by q. This will be the solution. And in the next step, I have sent this 2 to the denominator. That is root 15 is equal to p minus 8q divided by 2q. So I guess you all would be clear till here. Now moving on to a next step. Here you will write just simply that here p, q, minus 8 and 2 all are rational numbers. So rational into rational, rational divided by rational, rational plus rational, rational minus rational. All operations on rational numbers gives you a result of rational number. So here all are rational numbers, and we know that root 15 is not a rational number. We all know that. So you'll write this much only step. There is no requirement to prove root 15 irrational in a separate copy. It's not required at all. And let me tell you, I am telling this answer keeping in mind a 4-marker question. So this is a complete solution for a 4-marker question. You will get 100% marks. I am guaranteeing you. Being a teacher, I can say that. Okay. So you will write root 3 plus root 5 is not rational number. Our assumption was wrong, and hence this root 3 plus root 5 is an irrational number. Did you all get this question? I guess you would have got this because it's an easy one. But still, I am giving you all the steps what you should write in the board examinations. Not much more, not much less, because your time is very precious. So don't make it very lengthy. It's not required even. Okay. So let me tell you, all those questions which I am giving, it's not important that board will ask the very same with the all same values. Yeah, board can write down here root 5 plus root 7 or root 5 minus root 3 or something like this. Means the values can change, but the type of question is most likely the same. It would be same. Okay. So moving on to our next question. By using Euclid's algorithm, find the largest number which divides 650 and 1170. Now, this is very important. I'm very sure many of you guys would be getting the answer very easily, but some of you guys might be feeling it trouble that how to know that where to find HCF and where to find LCM. Now, for this, I will give a very clear funda, very easy funda, and you should apply it everywhere. See here, it is asking find the largest number which divides these two numbers. Now, you just answer me one thing. If you have to divide any number, then that divisor would be less than that number or more than that number. I guess very sure divisor will always be less than or equal to the number. So always remember that whenever the answer which is being asked from you is a lesser number than the given values, if it is a lesser number, always apply highest common factor. This works vice versa. This works opposite. If you are being asked a answer, if you are being asked a number which is less than the given number, you will apply highest common factor. And if the answer being asked is a number higher than the given number, you will apply lowest common multiple, LCM. I guess I'm clear with this. Now moving on to next. You have to find a number which divides both the numbers. This means you have to find the HCF of these numbers. So how are you going to find the HCF? Let's see this. So the first step what you would be doing, if you are going through a long division method, you will be writing this. And see, if the question writes Euclid's algorithm, then surely you should go with the long division method. Now let me tell you, this steps what I am showing you, you can do these steps in the rough also. But writing the Euclid division algorithm means dividend is equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder is important. Means for here you will write 1170 is equal to 650 into 1 plus 520. That is important. But what I do recommend to my students is you will do this either this way or that way, either in rough or in fair. So better write it in the fair. Means at least the examiner would come to know that yes, you have done it right, and it would be easy for the examiner to evaluate it. So the next division, 650 was divided by 520 was the remainder. Now 520 will work as a divisor, and this divisor will be new dividend. So I have again divided it 520 1 times 520, remainder coming as 130. Now this 130 would be divisor and the new dividend would be 520. 130 would divide 520 in 4 times. So we have got the 0. Now what next? Next is Euclid's algorithm. So the algorithm which follows here is first HCF for 650 and 1170. The first algorithm would be 1170 is equal to 650 into 1 plus 520. Dividend is equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. The next algorithm lies 650 is equal to 520 into 1 plus 130. And the third lies 520 is equal to 130 into 4 sorry, plus remainder. So these three algorithms I have written it. Now you will do the long division method. That 130 is the largest number which can divide both 650 and 1170. So by using this method you should approach, because it is written here Euclid's division algorithm. So the first portion which I have shown you, you can write it down in the rough also. That's not a big issue, but I suggest you write it down in the fair only. But these steps are very important and required. Let me tell you, this question has a lower probability for 4 marker, but yes, a good probability for a 2 marker or a 3 marker. 3 marker, it's a very average good probability, and for a 2 marker also it can come, but it won't come for a 4 marker question. Now moving on to our next. So finally, and always remember that you should always write down the conclusion. that therefore or hence proved or finally 130 is the HCF of these two numbers, because this last line carries marks. This last line has validity. So always write this last line, that hence my answer is this, so that examiner should know that you have concluded this answer. That is very important. Now moving on to our next, this is our next question. Here the thing which I have just now said you would be able to apply it here. Read out the question very fast. Two tankers contain 850 liters and 680 liters of petrol respectively. Find the maximum capacity of a container which can measure the petrol of either tanker in exact number of times. Now what does it mean? I'll tell you I'll elaborate you what does it mean. There are two tankers, okay, 850 and 650, 850 liters and 680 liters, okay. Sorry, there is a misprint, 680 liters. Now it is asking that you should have a container with which I can measure the amount of both the containers. Means, say for example, you should have a small mug. With this you will fill this whole mug and you will put it petrol or what is tanker, petrol, whatever is this, you will put it in this. So say for example, if you take 3 mugs, 4 mugs or 10 mugs or 100 mugs, but that should be in integer. It should not be like that you have filled this mug 3.5 times, then this container is full. Means you are being asked how many times, how many mugs you need to fill this container. And similarly here also, how many mugs do you need to fill this container completely. Now let me tell you that if this is 850 liters and if this is 650 liters, then surely this mug is going to fill it in a multiple number of times. But that multiple number of times, would it be equal to 850 or something less than that? Means what I am trying to tell, if you have to fill a bottle of 1 liter, means 1000 milliliter, so will you fill it using a milliliter of 1000 times? Or if you are using some small bottle, you would be filling it in 2 times or 3 times, something like that, isn't it? That is the normal sense. So if you are filling a container of 850 liters, will you fill it for 850 times? Or you will use a mug that might be for some 10 liters or 20 liters or 50 liters and you will use it that much times, 10 times, 20 times or 30 times, like that. This means, again, a common sense says that here the answer which is being asked from us, is a number lesser than these numbers. A number lesser than these numbers. This means we need to find out the HCF, and this is how we will come to know that we need to find the HCF. Now moving on to next, if we have come to know that we are required HCF, 2 tankers of kerosene oil 850 and 680 liters. So we need to find the maximum measuring capacity of the container to measure both the tankers, and hence HCF is required for 850 and 680. Now we know that HCF, here none of the step is said that you need to find out through Euclid division or long division. So it's up to you. So I guess most of the time the easiest method is long division method. So maximum measuring capacity of 850 and 680 would be using the I have done it using the long division method. So you can just do it in the rough or in the fair, anywhere you want. So dividing 680 by 2, the prime factorization method, and similarly dividing it by multiple times, getting the value. These all are the prime factors when you will be dividing it. So what you have got for 850 also, you can do it in the similar method, dividing by 2, then dividing by 5, and then dividing by 5 again, and then dividing by 17. So you have got all the numbers. Now I will be writing what the prime factors are looking like. So here, see, the prime factors are looking like 2 into 2 into 2 into 5 into 17. So here, and for the 850 it is 2 into 5 into 5 into 17. So I have written the common parts here. See, 2 into 5, 2 into 5, 17, 17, and the remaining 2s and remaining 5s have been written in the last part. So I have written it just to make common to them. See, 2, 2 common, 5, 5 common, and 17, 17 common. So just like, and so you know, the kind of animations or the kind of pictorial representation I am using here, just imagine if you would be able to use the same thing in your examination copy, how much beautiful it would be. What I mean, I don't mean that you should color it. You should do one thing. Once you have written this, then just do a encircle like this, encircle like this, encircle like this, so that examiner should also think that, yeah, wow, this guy is great. He has done all the presentation, he has got all the presentation skills, and he has presented the answer so beautifully. Because always remember, beautiful things are really priceless. Say for example, if you go to a shop, mithai shop or a sweet shop, and if you go it and the shop is very dilly-dally, very bad condition, flies are roaming around, will you buy a sweet from there? No. No matter how much good it is, no matter how much guarantees he gives you, but you won't have a faith. But say for example, if you go to a very good shop, big shop, presentation is very nice, packing is very nice, all things are clean and clear, no matter even if it is making a bad quality sweet, you will buy it. Why? Because the presentation is really very nice. So that is why presentation matters. Always keep your copy very clean, very clear, and very beautiful. So using these skills, you can make your copy look like very beautiful. Now moving on to next. So the HCF comes here is 2 into 5 into 17, all the common terms taken 1 times, and hence we are getting 170. So the maximum measuring capacity, the mug which we should use for measuring both the tanks separately, is 170 liters mug. So using that 170 liters mug, in how much times we would be able to measure it? So for the first tank, that is of 850 liters, we would be able to measure it in 5 times. Using that 170 liter mug 5 times, we will be getting 850. And for the next 170, we would be able to measure it in 4 times, because 170 into 4 makes it 680. So this is the final answer of this question. I guess you would have got this question because it's an again easy question. I was just telling you the how to write the steps, and apart from that, which kind of questions you should focus. Because see, till now, using in all these 3 questions, you would have been able to get it that in which kind of question you should focus. And I am telling you, these all are the blueprints. You should focus and concentrate on these kind of questions rather than, because there are n number of questions out there in the book, in the market. But you need not to focus on all of them. Focus on these kind of questions, you will be getting the right track. Okay. Next is the question, find the value of -1 plus -1 raised to power 2n plus -1 raised to power 2n plus 1 plus -1 raised to power 4n plus 1, where n is any positive odd integer. But you know, this last line is not required, because this last line, n is any positive odd integer, is just to confuse you. It's not required anywhere. I'll just show you how. You have to find this. Let me tell you, this could be a question for 2 marker or 1 marker. 3 marker would be too much for this question. So let's solve this question, but this is an important question. So the first solution, you have written the question here, given, and let me tell you, given information is very important. So always write the given information. Okay, we know that 2n is even because it's a multiple of 2. So 2 multiplied by 2, any number, it's an even number, and 2n plus 1 is an odd number. And similarly 4n, because 4 times any number is also even plus 1 is odd. Similarly here, 2 times n, even plus 1 is odd. So this is even and odd numbers. Now I have written all the even and odds. Now in the next step, this -1 to the power 2n is even, so I have written -1 raised to power even. Why I have written this? Because you all must be knowing that negative raised to power any even number is always positive. So you will write it even in the examination, it's completely fine. So -1 raised to power even is 1. I have shown this, and -1 raised to power odd is -1. So I have showed this. Now once I have showed this, I can use this value, -1 plus 1, -1 and -1, and hence we have got our value, that our value is -2. It was an easy question, but writing the steps is very important, guys. So don't forget to write the steps in a proper manner. Now moving on to our next question, find the HCF and LCM of 404 and 96 and verify that HCF into LCM is equal to product of the numbers, 2 given numbers. So I guess you would be able to solve this question. Again, an easy one. So let me show you the steps how you should solve this question. So the first step which you would be writing here is HCF of 404 and 96 is nothing but 404 is equal to 2 into 2 into 101. Doing the prime factorization, I have shown you one method for that long division and second method by writing the prime factorization multiplication. Similarly, for the 96 you can write down 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 3. So you have got prime factorization in the multiplication form. For the HCF, common factor, see here, common factor is 2, 2 and 2, 2. So the common factor is 2 into 2. So that would be the HCF. So HCF of 404 and 96 is very easy, 4. And for the LCM, what you will do, LCM of 404 and 96 is nothing but again writing the prime factorization if you wish to, or you can even directly use from here. But I suggest write it down once again, because as much as good presentability, that much good marks you will be getting, and that much good image your examiner will be having from your copy about yourself. Okay, so I have written the solutions also. So again doing the prime factorization, and from this prime factorization getting the LCM. That LCM is like this. It's only one step is extra is required. So this LCM is multiplying all of them, you will be getting 9, 6 and 9, 6. So that is the LCM. So I guess you would have got this question, and let me tell you, this is an easy question, but don't underestimate this question. This question might come in 3 marks. 4 marks is a lesser probability, but yes, 3 marks is a very good probability. It won't come in 2 marks because verification is always also there. You have to verify that HCF into LCM is equal to product of 2 given numbers. So this might come. Now moving to the next, this LCM of both 404 and 96. Again concluding, because this conclusion is very important. 9, 6, 9, 6, this conclusion. Here also HCF is 4. And see, I have used another color. But in boards, using another color is not suggested, not known as good thing. So what you can do, you can simply underline this, that you are underlining the answer. So that would give a very good glimpse of the paper. Now here comes the verification. HCF into LCM is equal to product of 2 numbers. How we are going to verify this? So 4 into 96, that is HCF into LCM, is equal to 404 into 96. Is it true? So you will just multiply it and you will put the numbers. That is all required. Only 3 steps for the verification. And if you want, you can write above here verification or verifying. That is sufficient. So this question is now done here, and hence you can write hence proved. So this is how this whole question will be done. Hence it is verified and hence it is proved. Always write the conclusion. That is important thing. Now, so I guess you would be able to understand which kind of questions is going to come. By this time you would be even able to recognize and find the pattern that which kind of questions might come and how you should write your board papers, because this is very important. Now moving on to our next question. Show that the square of any positive odd integer is always of the form 8m plus 1. This is the last question of the session, and let me tell you, this is a very important question of the session. In most of the books, the solution for this question is running out to something around 2 pages. But I have cut it down only in 5 to 6 steps. Let me tell you, cutting down the steps never means that board is going to cut your marks also. Till the time you have given a genuine explanation, a reasonable explanation, board is okay with it. If you can even do it in 3 steps or 4 steps for a 4-marker question, it's completely fine with the boards. Boards just want to check your real knowledge and have you presented in a proper manner or not. This is important. So moving on to next, the solution for this question would be, an odd number is always of the form 2k plus 1. Just now we have seen it in the previous question. 2 times any number, that is even, even plus 1 is odd. So 2k plus 1, you can write 2k plus 1, 2p plus 1, 2q plus 1, any variable, that's completely fine. Now the next step would be that n equal to 2k plus 1, where k is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3. Defining the terms is very important. So always define the terms. The next step would be square of this number, because we are being asked that show that the square of any positive number. So we have assumed the number as let n. You need to write it down. Sorry, I have missed that step. You need to write it down. Let the number be n, and it is of the form 2k plus 1, like that. So the number is n, 2k plus 1. I have squared this number and is equal to 2k plus 1 whole square. So now when I have squared this, I have opened this square, that is 4k square plus 4k plus 1. And the next step here would be that take out the common. Now why I have taken this common, this is also very important. I'll just tell you right now. So now 4 into k plus 1, you have got this answer, and plus 1 remaining. So what you will do here, that here you will write down an explanation, and before writing this explanation, I'll tell you what this explanation is all about. You know guys, this k is a number, okay, and this k plus 1 is also a number. So let's assume that this k, it can be only there is only 2 possibilities. Either k can be even or k can be odd. So if I am assuming that this k is even, then k plus 1 will be surely odd, because even after even odd comes. So this is even into odd. Even into odd is a even number or an odd number? I guess you all must be knowing that it is always an even number, because whenever you multiply an even number with any number, it is always a even number. Now moving to next, even into odd is even. Similarly, odd into, if say for example, if I assume this k as odd, if I assume this k as odd, then this k plus 1 would be even, isn't it? This k plus 1 would be even. So again here it will be odd into even. So odd into even is also even. So multiplication of these two numbers is always even, and that what I have made you understand right now, that you need to write down in the steps also, means in written format also. Here k into k plus 1 is the multiplication of two consecutive integers, and so it will be a multiple of 2. Two consecutive integers always divisible by 1 into 2. Similarly, 3 consecutive integers, just now we have seen, always divisible by 1 into 2 into 3. 6, we have seen it. 4 consecutive integers always divisible by 1 into 2 into 3 into 4, that is 24. So this rule goes on. So 2 consecutive integers always divisible by multiple of 2. Okay, now once you have written this step, now you are good to go. So now you can write down that this k into k plus 1 is a multiple of 2, so it can be written in the form of 2m, multiple of 2. And similarly, you can write down in the next step that n square, that was 4 into k plus 1. So this k into k plus 1 is 2m. So you can write down here 2m, marking it as 2m, and then you can write down that if this is 2m, then 4 into 2m, that would be 8m, multiple of 8 plus 1. And hence you have proved that square of any number is always of the format of 8m plus 1. So I guess you would be able to understand this question, that how this question has been beautifully done in just very fewer steps compared to books and other solutions that are available there out there in the market or in the books. Now what I want to tell you guys, that these questions, let me tell you, please focus on these kind of questions from this chapter, real numbers, because real numbers has a very wide variety. But board is not going to ask you from these wide varieties. Board is going to ask you very limited and around these kind of questions. And that's why I have zeroed these questions out, these 7 questions. Just practice these 7 questions, these type of questions, and you are good to go for this chapter. If you are knowing these 7 questions on your own, means you are very good and confident in these kind of questions, then this chapter is done. So guys, be very confident and be very sure, motivated each and every time I am focusing on this point, that never let your motivation go down. Never let anyone say you that you don't know this, and you won't be able to do this. Tell them that I will be able to do this and I am going to do this. Get your aim written in a paper and paste it in front of your wall, and every day see it. हर रोज अपनी मंजिल को देखोगे तो मंजिल तक जाने का मजा बढ़ जाएगा. Every day see your aim that you have to achieve 95%, 98%, 100% or any percentage. Just see it every day and you will achieve it. My confidence, because I have even done the same thing, I was able to achieve, and I have made the same thing for most of my students, many of my students who have achieved outstandingly. So this was all from my side. Myself Harsh Priyam, a master teacher of mathematics, signing off at this junction. Seeing you in the next session at 8 p.m. for next chapter, polynomials. Till then, bye bye and take care. Bye all of you.